Hello YouTube! This is Darkspineslayer, and welcome back guys to another Let's Review! This time we're talking about a little bit smaller of a game today than we usually do. It's a downloadable title. It's based on another game that was rather good, but it's a standalone game nonetheless. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Now, the original Far Cry 3 was kind of robbed of a lot of Game of the Year discussion based almost entirely on it releasing after most of these discussions had taken place. It was a very good game, very Assassin's Creed-esque almost, which makes sense since it came from Ubisoft as well. Open world, ton of weapons upgrades, and the stealth in the game was amazingly rewarding, and the firefights weren't that bad themselves either. One of the main mechanics being taking over enemy garrisons and hunting animals, and all of that was real fun. My only complaint with that was it kind of dragged itself on just a couple hours too long. Probably could have cut that second island about in half and it would have been perfect. But Blood Dragon. Let's start at the beginning with Blood Dragon. The intro of the game sets the mood perfectly. A helicopter minigun sequence to 80s music, and you just know right from the start that this is not a game that's taking itself super seriously, and it has some fun with itself. Very 80s, runs with that fully. You're collecting VHS as a cyber commando. There's an obligatory power-up montage somewhere in there. It's very funny dialogue. There's some hilarious self-referential humor from Ubisoft, primarily based on older Assassin's Creed games. And overall, I gotta say that this game keeps all of the highs of a set of Far Cry 3. You got the garrisons to raid, you got the hunting, you got the... Overall, very good. Being downloadable, it's obviously smaller, and with that, they have trimmed down the weapon selection quite a bit. You only have one gun of each of what would have been classes in Far Cry 3 now. This does trade in a little bit of the variety the game offered for some balance, a good degree of balance. Far Cry 3, you could buy a sniper rifle, get a silencer attachment, you were basically done. You had the win game gun. That's not the case here. You have a bow for kind of medium range stealth kills, but the sniper is gonna pretty much tell enemies where you are. Since the game has its 80s showing fully, you're in for a lot of neon. And the visuals don't look bad. I mean, it's still Far Cry 3, but some of the bright colors, particularly a red fog in the early game, can be kind of hard on the eyes. They have changed up the mechanics to raiding garrisons a little bit. You're still basically sneaking in, taking out the alarm, and then taking out the guards, preferably without getting seen and into combat to get more experience that way. But they kind of upgraded the task of delegating the clearing of the base to the local wildlife to the new titicular blood dragons, which, as the game loves to point out, are giant lizards that shoot lasers out of their fucking eyeballs, end quote. These guys actually aren't as huge a part of the game as you might think. They appear in a couple of the story missions and around the world map. You can primarily ignore them or outrun them. They're an alright addition. Like, I personally usually didn't bring the force field down and lure the blood dragon into the base, just because then having to get him out afterwards was more of a pain in the ass than it was worth. The music done by Power Glove very well. Again, very 80s. It does what it's supposed to. It's I wouldn't say iPod-worthy soundtrack, but it's definitely not something you want to mute. It's good. It's serviceable. It does what it's supposed to do. The only real complaint I have with this, and it's kind of ironic given my complaint towards Far Cry 3, it's probably over. Blood Dragon is probably over a little too quickly for the money. You got the collectibles, you got the 13 garrisons on a small island, and you got, I think, 6 or 7 main story missions, which, honestly, everything together, I think I knocked out in maybe 5 hours tops, which, given the fact I paid $4 when it was on a PSN sale, I'm satisfied with, maybe not at $20. The story also ended kind of anticlimactically. The big bad guy kind of just dies in a cinematic. There's no big, huge disco dinosaur laser fight that you might have expected, but overall, pretty good game. I had a ton of fun with it, and that's really because it had a ton of fun with itself. It didn't take itself quite as seriously as Far Cry 3 did. Would I say buy it? Yeah, buy it. Maybe not at $15-20, which I think the asking price is now. Maybe wait until it's on sale. I imagine the next Steam sale for you PC gamers, it'll be pennies. In which case, for God's sake, buy it then. Oh my god. Yeah. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Hey. Until next time, stay classy, YouTube.